And one of the reasons that you're here today is to hear that we are very unhappy, I am, with Russia. But we'll discuss that maybe a different day. But we're very, very unhappy with them, and we're going to be doing very severe tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days.
Donald Trump says tariffs will force Putin to end the war in Ukraine. Billions of dollars are pouring into the US, he claims. But let's look deeper. How do tariffs really work? Who pays the price? And what does Putin's recent visit to the US reveal about the state of the so-called 50-day ultimatum? Thank you for tuning in. This is Global Perspectives with me, Emmanuel Ere. If you are not subscribed yet, this is the time to do so. Thank you. Now we saw it. Trump stood firm, warning Putin, make peace within 50 days or face tough tariffs. But when the reporter asked him directly if he stood by the 50-day ultimatum, Trump sidestepped the question. He shifted the conversation, leaving the world wondering, was this a real claim or just another negotiation tactic?
Thank you, Mr. President.
And here is the backdrop. Putin's surprising visit to the US added even more tension. The optics mattered. Two leaders with history, power and the war in the balance. Europe feels it first. Energy costs remain high. Industries are adjusting, and inflation eats away at household budgets. Food security, fertilizer shortages. The ripple effect on Russia's war and sanctions is pushing farmers in Africa and Asia into crisis. And then China and India step in, buying Russian oil at discounts. That keeps Russia afloat, is war machine running, and also risks a secondary sanction wave that could drag these economies into US-led tariff battle.
He said, China beat you with trade. Russia beat you with war. That was a very interesting statement. China's not beating us with trade, not when I'm in charge. But they were beating Biden with trade, but they never beat us with trade. Don't forget, China had to pay $400 billion worth of tariffs when I was last time. That was last time. And if we didn't have COVID, all of this stuff we would be loaded. We're finding hundreds of billions of dollars of cash is pouring into our country now because of tariffs. And all we're doing is we're doing what they do to us. It's so beautiful to see it. They found last month, as you saw, $25 billion of excess cash flow. They're saying, where did it come from? I said, I'll tell you where it came from. It came from a place called Tariffs.
Now Trump insists billions are pouring into America. That sounds good. Until you realize tariffs are taxes paid at the border by American businesses, not foreign governments. So yes, money goes into Washington, but the cost is passed to you, the consumer. Higher prices on goods, pressure on farmers, squeezed manufacturers. We saw it during the US-China trade war. Washington collected billions, but farmers needed bailouts and families paid more at the checkout. So even as Trump talks about money flowing in, ordinary Americans are the ones quietly footing the bill. Yes, the danger. Tariffs might isolate Russia further, or they might push Putin deeper into China's embrace. And with Putin recently walking American soil, it signals he's not backing down, he's maneuvering. If secondary sanctions hit countries like India or Turkey, we could be staring at a wider trade war, splitting the global economy even further. So are tariffs a masterstroke of diplomacy or a gamble that could destabilize both allies and America itself? Trump's ultimatum sounds strong, but when pressed on the 50-day deadline, he didn't answer. Putin, meanwhile, isn't retreating. And while billions may be pouring into the US Treasury, Americans, Europeans, and much of the world are paying the real price. So the real question is, will tariffs bring peace or just another chapter of global fracture? Thanks for watching.